that our friends listening, if they're listening, are like, oh, that's nice. I hope they're not thinking, God, they have been testing me all these years.
They passed. They set the bar. Like, I think, okay,
did.
They set the bar. I don't accept new people into my close heart until they're past that bar now.
Yeah.
So they set it high.
Hells yeah.
Welcome to the Slut Drops Hurt podcast with me, Maisie.
And me, Beth. We are two fibro warriors intent on sharing perspectives and stories with the chronic illness community.
Expect real talk with a dash of humour thrown in as me and my favourite fibro friend tackle a range of topics.
Slut Drops Hurt. Yes, a rather cheeky name. It comes from our common realisation that as two divas with chronic illness, slut dropping in the club is way more challenging for us, as are many more things in life.
We hope by sharing our experiences with some of you, we can contribute positively to our Spoonie community.
This week we're discussing friendships and cancellation policy. This is part 2 of 2.
So like I said a bit earlier, when I got my diagnosis, I was a teen. I was very young. And I'd been struggling with this mystery illness for about 4 years. And I'd switched schools just beforehand. So I was making new relationships, but I was never able to go out and socialise too much with my friends. I did, and I made friends. But I can tell you now, there are only 2 people from my life at that time that really have come through with me and are still friends with me 9 years later since diagnosis. So yeah, about a decade later. And they are the people that, even from early on, whenever I said, I can't reply right now, I can't do this right now, or I can't go out, I'm sorry, I'm going to cancel on you. Okay. And then still picked up the phone and we talked about boys or something else and gave me a really real life. You know, and they were the 2 that survived. But even then, they knew me when I was sick. Like, so I made friends with one of them. She'll know who I'm talking about. Like the year that I stayed on at college, because I was held back a year. So actually, fibro gave me that friend, because if I hadn't have slowed down my A levels, I'd never have met her, and she's one of my closest friends. And the other one I actually met through a boyfriend that is not around anymore, but I met her. So, and she's an absolute, godsend of a friend. And I went to uni without them, and my life changed, and I couldn't reply as much anymore. And sometimes I've gone bloody 5-6 months without talking to them, and they are always there, always. And then they were kind of the basis of what I built my rest of my friends on. Like,
yeah, they set the bar, and they set
the bar high. They set the bar extremely high, and they are still like my sisters. I love them. Like, and every time we talk, it's like there's no time passed at all, and we don't talk about fibro that much, but it's there in my conversation. Like, it's never why haven't you been out much, or like, why haven't you done much recently? It's like, oh, I'm gonna know why, so just talk about stuff. Like, yeah.
This is it. I feel like with this is another thing that I've sort of noticed as a toxic trait. And this doesn't just go for friends. This goes for able-bodied people
in general,
employers, and this goes for humans. If the only conversation you can have, or if the conversation always starts with the topic of your fibro, chances are you've just got to get rid of them. The amount of conversations, the amount of conversations I've had that have started with, oh, how's fibro? And it's like, not just how are you? How you feeling? You don't need to say specifically fibro. I am more than that. I do get other issues than that. I get period pains. They're killing me this week. I am more than just fibro. How about you ask how I am as a person?
Yeah.
So that's another red flag for you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, this is such a good conversation. Also, like I said to you, that I have less patience with new people I meet, because the bar has been set very high. It's like when you talk about, like, see, this is going to be a stark realization of how harsh a human I can be now, but that's me. Is for example, like, if someone like when I go out with people, I don't think, oh, poor able-bodied them, like for having to take me out. Like, if that makes sense. Not, I know you didn't say it in that way, but you know what I mean. I just don't really think about them. I'm really bad. Like when you bless you, you're so sweet. 'Cause you're talking about, oh, they must be frustrating for them. I'm kind of like, yeah, I know what you were trying to say.
But I'm saying this on reflection, not as I don't think about it every minute of I don't think about it when we go out, but on reflection when we're talking about this in particular. But I know.
No, I thought I'd make it clear though for listeners as well.
Yes,
because like I know that how it might sound. I get what you're saying, and like, thinking about it now, the way you say it, yeah, I am really grateful, and it must be frustrating. But I can be a real terrible person sometimes, in terms of just being like, meld to me or go away. Like
no, but this is the thing though, is that I very much feel that way about my life. I'm very much like, you fit into my schedule, you fit into my life, I make room for you, so you best do your best to fit.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel very selfish in the way that I sort of approach relationships, but selfish in a way that it's for my health. I'm not being selfish for the sake of being selfish. I'm being selfish for my mental health and my physical health, because to me they are priorities.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry, I'm not that. To be clear on my part now as well, I'm not that harsh to people.
No, you're not. She's not. She's lovely.
When like it's mainly like if close people, like, yeah, I can be a bit like, really. And then I have to catch myself.
Exactly the same. No, but I'm exactly the same. I can lose it with people, and people just need to realize that that's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's the ones that stick around that you're like, hey, you're a real treat to me. And also, I will say as well, there's a part on our side as well where we have to catch ourselves. So actually, just thinking about the comment I just made, I realised, no, I am a little bit more considerate, because I could say some really bad things sometimes if I didn't
that's
catch
because you go
my
to the
own
dark place.
Yeah, if I didn't catch myself. So for example, like, I have to remind myself that if my friend's in pain, that's relative to them, and I should give space to that and ask them how they are still. Because I can remember, like, you get what I'm saying, right? So for example, sometimes they might do things that aren't accessible to you without meaning, and it's about not becoming frustrated by that. It's about living with the relationship and saying, okay, I'm going to explain to you why you not thinking about how I'm going to get out of this situation is complicated for me, rather than me getting angry at you. So I do have that in me. I'm not that harsh a cow.
No, but this is actually, you're just making me think of something that kind of brings out my worst colours as a friend. Is the green-eyed monster comes out a lot. Jealousy. For my able-bodied friends. Like, I just, my mind goes off on tangents when hearing stories from able-bodied people about all of these wonderful big things they're doing, and I have to reel myself in when having these conversations, because the thought going through my mind is, you're such a lucky fucker. Like, and I hate that you get to have this experience and I don't. And it's not that I don't want them to have the experience, it's that I hate the fact that I can't have it.
It takes, so, I don't know about you. Oh, sorry.
No, that was my point.
I was just saying, I don't know about you, but it takes me sometimes back into my morning stage, and then I have to figure out, so because I remember what I don't have, and I have to remind myself what I have and not be angry about it just because the world isn't equal. Like,
and I need to, this is a big thing that I still learn daily, and it's because it's a natural trait of mine anyway. I'm generally quite a jealous person. Like, I get jealous of people accomplishing great things, and like, whilst I'm proud of them, I'm always like, damn it, I want that. But a big thing for me is accepting the fact that it's okay that they're doing that and I'm not. And I get into this horrible sort of dark morning place of my own all over again, and it feels like you're starting from scratch, but you're not. Every time you have this feeling, and every time you go back to morning, you'll be there for a less amount of time, because you've got the resources and the tools to get yourself back out of it.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to have these conversations with the friends that do make you jealous as well, because I've noticed myself being very quippy and very harsh with people because I've been jealous of them, and I've had to sort of explain to them why. And it's not fair and it's not justified, but it's understood that that's part of the relationship here.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like look, what you're describing to me is like, it's more than actually thinking about the title of this. It's more than just a cancellation policy in some ways, because we also are so open with it. We're like, we do want to hear about, I don't know about you, I've had this conversation where I'm like, I want to hear about your things. I do. If I don't reply straight away because you've sent it as a message, I'm probably just dealing with some internal stuff that is not your fault, and completely like I want to hear, and then I'll get back to you when I'm in a really good frame of mind. Because I'm still dealing with this thing, and that's not your fault. I think you have to make it clear sometimes to people. I don't know about you, but I find I have to make it clear, like, not your fault. Definitely want to hear about everything going on in your life, because I'm your friend, and I also want to be there because I am still your friend, and there is a certain part of the friendship that belongs to me, and I have responsibilities as your friend. That makes sense. So like, just you saying that you're open with them and you tell them is such a positive thing in that sense, because you're like telling them this isn't your fault, and now I want to celebrate this with you.
This is the thing, I think, with chronic illness, and that's friendships between people with chronic illness as well as friends that are able-bodied and so on and so forth. I think a lot of validation needs to come into it, because we leave each other on red a lot, and it sometimes does just need to be validated that it's nothing to do with the person you left on red. It's completely an internal thing, something I've got to get through, and I want to be the best possible friend I can be. So I need to be in a good frame of mind to do that. Because if I reply right now, you're going to get a very unenthusiastic, very jealous, snarky comment. Yeah. But that's not what I really want to say, because that's completely my problem. That's my issue, not theirs. And that's been a huge part for me learning how to be a good friend in the past year, is learning that not the first thing that comes to my head is always to do with that person. Sometimes that's just on me, and that's me being a bit unbearable.
Yeah, and just your frustration at life, which is valid. Like, because you're going through something that not everyone goes through, and it's hard to deal with. And I think it's really precious that you found that, because like I found it in myself that I have to catch myself, like I said. And it's like our side of the policy, if you like. Policies come with two sides, right? So let's take it back to Sheldon's agreement. Sheldon often learns,
negotiation.
That he has to live up to his end of the agreement as well as other people often, right? And it's the same for us, like, so I know that this friendship exists between us. So it's also up to me if I feel myself going off the fibro rails, and maybe being a little more irritable and judgy, sensitive.
I call it my sensitivity.
I can be. We both know how extremely sensitive we can be. I know I can be extremely sensitive. I catch that. The big test then on the friend is whether they can be left unread, even if it's for a few days. If I'm not ready to get to your message yet, even if you just ask me how I am, I'm not ready to get to it yet. You probably have to accept I've got other things going on, spreading spoons in other places, or just simply just trying to digest my life as a chronically ill person sometimes.
Because sometimes, I find that because we look well, sometimes it's, and I forget this myself, let alone for people that don't see me all the time. Sometimes the best I can do is survive. Yeah. Sometimes that is the best I can do in a day. And those are the days that I don't get back to people. Those are the days I don't do any work. I'm not productive. I literally sit here and binge a TV show or binge a load of books or do nothing at all, And again, that comes as part of the terms of the cancellation policy, is that sometimes I'm just surviving. Yeah. And I cannot converse with somebody right now. I can't deal with anything outside of my own brain, because I'm trapped right now. I'm trapped in this survival mode, and talking to somebody takes a lot of energy, and I just can't do it right now. So that very much falls under the umbrella of cancellation policy. But again, like you say, policies are a two-way thing. So those days do come with their exceptions. So for example, if somebody was to message me urgent and then call me multiple times,
I'm going to be there as your friend.
Yeah, I'm going to be there but as long as it's not urgent, just know it's not you.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people don't understand that this whole thing of it's not you, it's me. It really is me. Like
it's not a cliche.
It's really a me
cliche
thing
for a reason.
Yeah, it's really a me thing. And like I mean, I'm terrible at getting back to people. People have kind of learned that now. I'm terrible.
I kind of pride myself on the fact that I'm really good at being quite quick with messages, but it's only because it's got nothing to do with being a good friend. I have OCD with notifications on my phone. I hate having them. I hate it. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts seeing other people's phones and seeing that they've got loads of notifications on like emails and Messenger. I hate it. Your phone drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. It's got nothing to do with, so I will leave people on red and then message back, but even that winds me up. I'm like, no, it's an OCD thing. I'm like, just got to message back, even if it's just haha.
See, I'm terrible. Sometimes I will turn you back to unread if I can't get back to you yet. Like,
I didn't even know you could
terrible.
do that.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I will go, you know what, I've read this message, I'm not ready to give you an answer or say hello. Mainly because I don't have the brain cells. If I come out of work, I'm dead to the world. Like, you know, I think a lot of what understanding, it's hard for allies, right? Because they have to give us so much level of understanding. But if you can do it, we love you and you're a really good human being.
We look after you very well. We always have pain medication when you need it.
And I'll always repay the friendship. The friendship is deep because I feel like I'm more likely to pick up the phone when you need me, because I'll push through things for you because you'll also appreciate how much I'm pushing through, as well as the fact that I love you internally because you know all of me and I seem to know all of you. But yeah, like, what was I going to say? I've gone off on a tangent and fogged.
All the time.
All the time. That's
what
brain.
Most of this podcast is.
Yeah,
is us
it's
going
just
up on tangents
random
and
ramblings.
getting the original thought.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. But then I listened to a lot of podcasts.
We're coming to the end.
Yeah, I listened to a lot of podcasts with chronically ill people who I love that also have sentences like that. So maybe it's right. Yeah, I was skating over that one.
I picked it up.
Yeah, I don't know what I was saying there. I was basically trying to say something positive about if you can deal with the fact that some days I can't do it, then we're going to have a really good relationship. And don't think I don't understand how much you're giving to me as a friend. Like, yeah, if that makes sense. I'm worried I've come across very harsh in this episode.
No, you haven't.
Okay. Well, your reassurance is nice. We'll see what the rest of the world thinks.
Yes, we shall see. Please be nice. To be fair, you've just wrapped it up so lovely. That was just such a well-rounded, even if you did fog, it was very well-rounded as to what this whole story is about, is that friendships are chronically ill people. Difficult, but we're worth it.
Yeah. And my advice to chronically ill people is don't feel guilty for asking what you need and putting those boundaries in place. Once you do, you will find the most precious people out there in the world. You will find they will be so precious to you. Like, you would take a bullet for them. You'd get up and run a marathon for you. Yeah, you'd get up and run a marathon for them, even though you can't.
That would also hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely.
Do it. And they give you these human experiences that you don't always think you can have. For example, I didn't think I was going to be able to club as much or go to pubs as much as I've done over my 20s. I thought that was completely written off for me. But I just needed accommodations. Like,
you needed people to stand in queue with you and go, "Oi, my friend's disabled. Can you get us in?" I remember doing that once for you. Got us in instantly.
We have perks. We have perks as ill people when you take us out.
We do. We get you seats because we've got the lanyards and also walking sticks.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you tell the bouncer that your friend's disabled, they get you in instantly. My
favourite moment with one of, we always say slut drops hurt. They do. Yeah. one of my favourite moments was like, I was in Glitter Bomb, which is this LGBT night in Canterbury, which I always used to go to.
I miss Glitter Bomb.
I love everyone from the LGBT community because they're also one of the most accepting communities. Wow, isn't that amazing? Because
funny that
they get it, like they get what it's like to like not fit into what people deem as the norm. But anyway, I went with my stick. And I did a slut drop in the middle of the dance floor and with my stick. So I like used it as leverage and was dancing with my stick the whole night. And I hurt for days afterwards, but it was so worth it. Such a good experience. And my friend just like, yes, look at you. Like, just like, not like, what the hell is you doing, Maisie? You're going to hurt yourself. Just like, okay, well, we know you're hurting yourself.
She's slut dropping with a stick.
Yeah, she's doing her thing. Like, not going to me, oh, don't do it. Like, it'll hurt you. Like, oh, it's going to hurt you. We know you can deal with it.
I never want to be told that. Like, I know that our whole brand is called Slut Drops Hurt. But I swear to God, if I'm ever out in a club and you come up to me and say, don't do that slut drop, it's going to hurt, you're getting punched in the face. Because I'm going to drop and I will slut. Yeah. As I wish. Exactly. Because we're still 20-somethings and you want to live your life how you want to live your life. Like, I am willing to pay for it tomorrow. That's the thing. I'm willing to pay for it tomorrow. Yeah. Like, yeah. If I'm willing, leave me alone. This has been a fun chat about friends. Like, it has. And I hope that our friends listening, if they're listening, are like, oh, that's nice. I hope they're not thinking, God, they have been testing me all these years. They passed. They set the bar. Like, I think, okay. They set the bar. I don't accept new people into my close heart until they're past that bar now. Yeah. So they set it high. Hells yeah. So, just remember, Spoonies, you deserve the best. Yeah, you deserve good friends and good friendship. You deserve people to treat you like people, and because you are a person. Like, yeah. At the end of the day. First and foremost, you are a human being. Yeah, exactly. Unless you identify otherwise, at which point, apologies. Yes. This has been fun. Anyway, on that fun note, we're going to go and drink with our friends now. Yep, and join them on another Zoom and tell them about our podcast recording today, which is my win for today. I don't know about you. Me too. Yeah. It's my win of the week. Yeah. So, it's been awesome fun. Yes, thank you so much for joining us. Yes, and thank you for the conversation as always, Beth. Yes, thank you too. I love it. I shall see you soon on another Zoom. Yes! Thanks for listening to the Slut Drops Hurt podcast.
We hope you join us for our next episode.
Connect with us for news on our latest podcast projects and much more. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and TikTok under the name Slut Drops Hurt.
For now, we are sending gentle hugs and wishing you all the spoons you need.